In this video, I'm going to remind you how to use the short written method for division. You might call it bus stop division, but we know that we're using this method because we're dividing by one digit. Before I start the question, if your knowledge of times tables facts is not yet completely secure, what you can do, just like when we use our long division, is you can write your skeleton tables out. And a reminder of how to decide how far to go in your skeleton times tables, I've looked at this number 364 and I've looked at the first two numbers. Now I know 7's not going to go into 3, so I'm going to have to see how many times 7 can go into 36. I already know that just by looking at this number. So I went as close to 36 as I could, and that's how far I decided to go. So you don't always need to write the entire times tables out for a number, but that's something that can help you. So let's get on with the question. When I lay my numbers out like this, I'm going to ask myself, how many times does 7 go into each of these digits? So let's start. How many times does 7 go into 3? Well, 7 doesn't go into 3. So what I'm going to put here is a 0, just so that I can keep the order of where I'm working. Now I bring that 3 or carry that 3 over to the next place value column, and I've now got 36. So I'm now asking myself, how many times does 7 go into 36? And I can look at my skeleton tables here if I need to. I know that 7 can go into 36 5 times, because 5 times 7 is 35. But that leaves me with 1 as a remainder, because I needed to get to 36, but I only made it to 35, because 5 times 7 is 35. So I carry my remainder to the next place value column, and that leaves me with 14. So now the question I'm asking myself is, how many times does 7 go into 14? I know that 2 times 7 is 14, so there's no remainders there, so I put my 2. And that means my answer to 364 divided by 7 is 52. Okay, let's have a look at another question. So this time I've got 8,052 divided by 4. So it's a slightly bigger number here, but it's going to be exactly the same method. I'm going to ask myself, how many times does 4 go into 8,052? Okay. I have some of my skeleton tables here again, just in case I need them. So the first question I ask myself is, how many times does 4 go into 8? I know that the answer to that is 2, because 2 times 4 is 8. I don't have any remainders, so I move on to my next digit. The next digit is 0. Now 4 does not go into 0, so I'm going to put a 0 here. Okay, 4 does not go into 0. And I move on to my next digit. The next digit is 5. How many times does 4 go into 5? Well, I know that 1 times 4 is 4, and that leaves me with a remainder of 1. So how many times does 4 go into 12? I know that 3 times 4 is 12, so I'm going to put a 3 here. And again, there's no remainder. So the answer to 8,052 divided by 4 is 2,013. And that's how we use our short written method for division.